For some, the start of a new year often yields new resolutions or goals. For Dana Taucher, owner of Syndicate Ferndale, 2025 is starting off with a new seasonal menu and business venture. I've been an enthusiastic patron of Syndicate since it opened in downtown Ferndale in September 2023 in the former space of the Ferndale City Glass Company. Tucked away about a stone's throw east of Woodward along Vester Avenue, Dana and her team opened Syndicate Restaurant with the goal of serving higher-end cocktails and elevated food. Syndicate announced on Instagram a few days before Christmas that Dana would be launching a new concept about 100 yards away in the former bar, Scout Vester. Scout closed its doors and served its last drink earlier in December. I messaged with Dana and arranged an interview on the same day Syndicate was conducting a photo shoot for its new menu items. I started my interview by asking Dana about her initial inception for Syndicate.
I moved to Ferndale in 2019, loved the city, knew it was vibrant, knew it was up and coming, and Syndicate was an idea I developed while working in the industry. I'd worked in the industry for just about 15 years, and I had opened 17 restaurants for my previous boss. And I realized in the midst of COVID that if I was going to open a restaurant, it would be now, which doesn't really make much sense to anybody else but myself. And so I applied for a small business loan. The location of Syndicate was actually vacant, and I did an entire build out. They originally declined me of my loan because it was in the midst of COVID, and they said I was crazy that I wanted to open a restaurant. But at the end of it, they came back with a 2% interest rate, and I said, all right, sign me up.
I followed up by inquiring about Dana's inspiration and influences for the identity of her restaurant.
I actually grew up working in a tavern-style atmosphere in the restaurant industry, and as much as I love the fast-paced atmosphere about it, I started to kind of become a foodie myself and like the higher-end craft cocktails, and started traveling out to Detroit and taste testing at all these different spots, and realized that I had a passion for cocktails and kind of elevated food. I kind of developed more of this sophisticated style and basically designed this place up, made out of all the things that I love: art, music, and craft cocktails and food. So just kind of developed along the journey of, elevating what I wanted to bring if I were to, create my own establishment.
As someone who has enjoyed the ambiance of Syndicate on multiple occasions, I asked Dana what it's been like to have watched her vision come to life and share in the joy of her patrons and staff with the community that she's created.
It's a very weird feeling because most days I don't see it from that perspective. I like to work, so I'm here usually working, bussing tables, doing all that stuff, and I just feel like a team player. Our team and the culture that we've created here is really beautiful. Even after a year, it's hard for me to sit back and be like, wow, I created this. It is such a beautiful experience to see people come in here and enjoy it, and come into, this room full of art and be like, wow, I didn't know that this was even part of it, because our dining room is so intimate, and you kind of feel like you're in this sophisticated place, but then you come back here and it's all local artwork, and it's very cool and beautiful, and to see it come to life. And I'm just happy to experience it with the people that I'm working with and the community around us.
I wrapped up the interview by asking about Dana's new concept down the street. I was curious if there would be any similarities or shared designs from Syndicate Ferndale.
So it's actually going to be completely different. It is not going to be anything like Syndicate. I don't know how much I want to reveal just yet, but we're going totally down a completely different path, totally different style of food, definitely different vibe, something that, people get at me because they say that I always say that I want to bring something new to the city that it doesn't have, but this endeavor 100% is something that we don't have in the city yet, and I think that is, or haven't in a while, and I think that it's going to be very exciting when that gets released.
After the interview, I gathered video and photos from the back lounge, then made my way to the front to collect the remaining footage I needed. For this adventure, I only captured images and videos of the food, but after seeing some of the prepared dishes and smelling the range of emanating aromas, I'm certainly motivated to go into Syndicate hungry my next couple of visits. I eventually said my goodbyes to Dana and her staff and walked outside to get exterior shots before heading off to work. I must say, I think Syndicate's seasonal menu is going to be a huge hit, especially some of those starters, burgers, and entrees. After sitting down and meeting Dana, I have the utmost faith that her next endeavor and concept will be just as beloved and successful as Syndicate Ferndale. Dana is a real go-getter and really has a handle on fostering a sense of community with her staff and within her restaurant. It's what makes places like Syndicate feel so welcoming and enjoyable that they quickly become repeat destinations or places you can always count on when you want to go out. I can't wait to see what concept Dana unveils next across the street. For the full story or more details about Dana's upcoming project, read the story below.